Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. I took the yoga out of this, even though this is all about yoga. I just do not want to confuse people with the fact that I'm not actually practicing Hatha yoga or offering Hatha yoga practices through these videos. I'm doing what yoga actually is all about, trying to bring myself back to the truth, to self-realization, and hopefully helping others to get there as well. La-di-da-di-da-di, right? Anyway, so we're going to continue with our concept exercise where I pull a concept out of the chart and I try to speak on it within a 4 to 5 minute. I keep going back between 4 and 5 minutes time frame without any practice, obviously, and without any editing or revising of the video. So what you see is what you get. So anyway, I'll begin by taking a deep breath to kind of center myself away from that egoic mind of mine that thinks it knows everything when it knows nothing. And I will read this word. Let me see if I can make it out. Universal Soul, Anima Mundi. Universal Soul, Anima Mundi. In Mundi, I think. That's the Sanskrit, I think, or Latin. No, it's a Latin, sorry. Latin translation of the word universal soul. So what is a universal soul? Most of us have heard of the word soul, and we think of soul as that little spirit within us that will go to heaven when we die, or the other place when we died, if we're Christian, or some of those other similar religions. But the soul, to me, is universal. The universal soul is the essence of everything. It is that formless nature to life. Some might refer to it as the prana, the vital energy of life. Some might refer to it as Satchidananda, the existence, consciousness, and bliss of everything. Some may refer to it as the energy field or the infinite field, infinite everything, I guess. I'm getting lost with words now, which is good because it's really hard to explain this universal soul in words. It is that essence in everything. One way of looking at it, and again, these are just concepts pointing to other concepts, is looking at it as the higher consciousness, the consciousness of who we are, the awareness, the presence, the stillness of who we truly are at the deepest level. If we look at the 5 koshas that the Hindus and yogis speak of, the first one being the physical kosha, the body that you see. If we go deeper into that, into the energetic body, that energy which, allows for everything to function and everything to be, all things quantum physicists are showing derive from energy vibrations or wavelets at the deepest level, right? Around the protons and the electrons and neutrons. And beyond that, we have the mental body, where a lot of us spend our lives with our thoughts and feelings and living out our lives up there in the head rather than living them embodied in the body, in the energy body or the physical body, experiencing life as it is. We get lost in our head and tend to live up there rather than actually having the felt experience of life. Beyond that, beyond the mental body, we have the knowledge or wisdom body, where we tend to go on our route to the inner body. And sometimes we get lost in our knowledge and what we know and in our intellectual minds or our educated minds, looking for concepts and ideas. And instead of seeing and experiencing the felt experience of what these concepts are pointing to, we get lost in the concepts, the dogma and the doctrine, and start worshiping those rather than the essence of who we truly are at the deepest level. If we make it through the wisdom layer in our search inward, we will reach the Satchidananda, the Ananda body, that which is everything. A Brahman, as the yogis would refer to it, possibly. And I don't want to... The soul is such a complicated word in the sense that it has so many connotations related to it or attached to it, that if we think in terms of consciousness, it makes it a little less personal. and a little bit more expanded, I believe. So it's inside that there is the consciousness, the blissful existing consciousness, the being that we all are, the universal being, the universal soul is that which created us. It is this field of everything, this vibrating field of energy that created everything, and it exists through every one of us. It is, we are here in this body, as you see the body, which is not us, so that this higher consciousness can experience itself. So life is a good word. Life with a capital L is what I tend to write. Life with a capital L can experience itself through us. And that is Anima Mundi, or universal soul, is life. It's all life experiencing itself through us in all these 8.5 billion forms of human and, countless number of other sentient beings. This life gets to experience itself through this. And we're all connected to that soul. So if we trace ourselves back to who we really are, and we manage to dig down to the Satchitananda or the Ananda body and see and experience life through there in that seat of consciousness as the universal soul, we will have oneness. We will see that oneness is what it's all about. We're all not only interbeings in the sense that we're dependent on each other, but we are each other. It's all one energy, manifesting in several millions and billions of different ways, through different forms. And the universal body is what we're tracing back to. And that's what yoga is pointing to when it says the self, realization, S with a capital, self with a capital S, is that universal soul, is an Anima Mundi. It is what we all are. And once we know that, there will be existence, consciousness, and bliss. And we won't be lost in our own individual and personal little stories anymore. We'll be experiencing life in this oneness and in this unity. Well, I hope that makes sense. Regardless, it's going up. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.